Welcome to Steve 87th, Puget Sound and Pacific Railroad.
Hi everyone, this is Steve 87th PSAP Railroad, or Puget Sound and Pacific. This is my channel, and I just wanted to invite you guys to come along and watch as I build my railroad, build up some kits, do some kit bashing, and running trains like the one behind me. So if this is what you guys like to watch, stick around for a while and see if you like the channel. Hey, model railroaders. So today's episode is going to be about putting in the drops and the undercarriages, maybe some of the handrails. When we start we start getting a little bit farther along together. Yeah, sorry for it being a little bit dark. Having a little problem with my sinuses today, so the light kind of hurts me a little bit. So let's get on with the video. All right, so I brought in some other pieces. This is the first piece that I did. One thing that you'll note that on this one, the difference is that I did not wrap the walkway all the way around. And for right now, I think I'm going to leave that. I don't have all of my other stuff to make the walkways go all around yet. So for now, I'm going to leave it that way. I also did the same thing where the motor is. The motor doesn't have the wraparound section either. So those two are going to be staying like that for right now. What my big deal that I need to do is to make my connection between the two of them, and then the connection between these two to make it work. So what I want to do is, this is going to be on the top section. The smaller one that goes across the road is going to be on the top section. But I need space for somebody to walk underneath there. So I'm going to make this 1 inch from here to here. Now, one thing that I did wrong that I didn't realize that I did, I'd actually made this. These square tubes are kind of cool because when you go down to the next size, they actually are telescoping so that they can actually fit inside one another. The problem is that this is set at that angle, and I need to attach this one at that angle. So they're not going to be able to interlock in between those two. So what I need to do is cut a small piece that will go down inside there at level, and then I'll have to turn this 90 degrees so that it'll fit into the other one, because I want to be able to slide this in and out when I'm working on it and putting it down, because I want it to be able to move in, and I want it to be able to take it apart and put it back together. And then of course on the other side, where, I'm sorry, actually the crossbar, which is the 12-inch one, comes and intersects with this one, we're going to have the same exact thing. So by putting it at a standard 1 inch, that'll give me about 8 feet of clearance, which is more than enough for guys to walk under and all that. And then simply, I'm going to just simply take a small piece that I already have and turn it 90 degrees on the square cut so that it'll actually fit in those corners. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and work on these. The other thing that has to happen is on the 12-inch one, this actually will be where the inlet is. Above this area will be where the inlet of the pipe comes in from the elevator, the lifting elevator, right? So we're going to leave a bit of extra up there, and then we're going to cut it where it needs to be once we get the piping, once we get this installed and we get the pipe into the right spot, because it does have to go over top of this and then it will drop into there. Now remember, the way that this works in the grain elevator is we have a door down on the bottom here, we have a door up on the top. Now if they close the door here on this one, it will cause it to flow across. If they leave that door open and then use this door, it will flow out this way along that side. Okay, so that's the way that this will work. So we have to put a door section in there as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and measure these up. Like I said, it's going to be 1 inch from here to here. I will twist a part in there to put it in there, and then I have to make another one on this side that does the same exact thing. Okay. All right, so I've cut the first one of these at 1 inch, which will go on the short one, which goes to the tanks. So my job is to take this and weld it on this way so that we have a nice little connection between the two of them that's nice and square. I need to clean up the edge a little bit. That's bad. A little sanding, doesn't take much. Just want to get that flashing off. Okay, so again, this little part will go into this side. This is going to be at 90 degrees to it so that it goes in together at the right spot. So we're just going to take this, do a little bit of gluing. Seems like it had a little bit of an issue there. There we go. Do it on this side. Put it on at a 90-degree angle. Make sure that it fits. Try to center it best you can. Okay. And then center it this way the best you can. So you got to do two sides of centering, right? And it's just close enough. Okay. We'll let that dry for just a second while we go on to our next section. Now our next section is kind of weird. So remember, I cut this at 1 inch, so it makes it nice and easy for me to remember how high it's got to go. This one, again, I have to cut at 1 inch, but I have two of these. Well, actually, I don't have to cut this at all at 1 inch. No, I do. Sorry, I do have to cut this at 1 inch because this also has to be turned at 90 degrees. So I will cut one of these at 1 inch. Again, with the tube, it's a lot easy just to take it. Again, on my board here, everything is at 1 inch. So 1 inch is a nice number to go with because, again, it's close to 8 feet. We'll just take it and put it on in the miter box. And then cut it at 1 inch. Okay, we'll sand that one up. Now, the funny thing about this one is we actually have to have 2 sets of this because the top and the bottom also have to be placed at inside of these tubes, right? So if I just put it down here on the top, then when I go to, if I just put the bottom in, down on this one, if I just use the bottom section in, that'll hold that in, but then I don't have any way to hold the top. So the top will actually have to be split in half because I've got a top section that goes up to the tubing and then this top section which will fit on top of there so that it'll all work. I know it sounds all complicated, but it will all work out in the end, trust me. Okay, so I just have to cut another one of these, but then I have to cut it in half. So I'm just going to take this, use it as a measuring stick so that I know how far it goes. I don't figure out how to do this yet. Okay, now I've got a third one of those. Now I've got enough to put in all the items that I need and a long enough section on this side to be able to cut it down. All right, now all I have to do is cut that in half and I'll be good to go. So I just want to show you what I'm going to do with this. This item will just come in here and it will be placed right into that. Now I want it to be able to move in and out because this will be glued to right here. And then so when I need to move this, I can detach it from this section right here. Okay, so that's, oops, sorry, let's try that again. So we're actually going to move this. You can see here, that this is able to be pulled in and pulled out. We want to be able to keep being able to do that in the future because as we move this thing around, we want to be able to take it in and out because this is going to be pretty delicate. And then this top section here is actually going to be glued to the bottom section there. And that's going to give us our bridge across. Okay, so the bottom section there, bridge across. So let's go ahead and do the other part, and then I'll come back to you and show you how this is all going to fit up together. All right, so now I've got the pieces cut. I've got this one set to go in for here, giving me my 1 foot. And you can see here it's got that same sort of clearance thing that I can do here. But I also have to make sure that it'll connect with this one, right? So I've got it going this way. Sorry, let me try to get this back in. This goes in like this. And then it's set to go in here in this. So what I want to do though, I kind of don't want that to go all the way up inside there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a block on both ends of what I have. So this one is actually going to get another block, which is half of that other one that I just put on. This one is going to just go up on the top, so it'll actually be an extension of this one. Okay, I know we could have cut it a little bit easier and made it just one cut, made that a little bit longer, but this way we actually have a delineated line so I can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. Yeah, a little too much glue there. Okay, get that to square up a little bit better. All from that one piece. And then that's fine, we're ready to go. And then I do the same thing. Actually on this end, I'm also going to have it turned like that so that I know exactly where it's going to fit at. So this will be able to slide in and out of here. And then I'll be able to cut the side that I need as soon as I get the tubing cut in there. So now let's see how this all fits together. So the first thing we're going to do is put this on here. Just like that. Okay. This will be sitting way over here on this end. We would actually glue this on at the 12-inch point. This will go inside of here. So we'll have that there. Not all the glue's dry enough yet. So we're going to have to wait till the glue's dry better. And then I'll come back and show you how this is actually all going to work. All right, so while these are drying and getting set up, we're going to go ahead and put the downspout legs on. Now, there's an important thing to note on these downspout legs. When you put them on, you've already marked off where they're supposed to go. But when you actually affix them, we are going to put them to one side. There's a reason why we're going to put it up on the top side nearest the grating. Okay, we'll put that in place. It'll be on the top section there at the grate. The reason we have to put it close to the grate, and we do want to put this on first so that we have less work to do later. When we put in the support beam, it has to have a place to lay on top, to lay next to. So if we put this in the center, then we're going to have to cut out the support or change the support around a little bit. If we put it right there, there's no changing of the support, we just glue it in place. So you just have to remember wherever how many legs you put in, that's where they go, and they go up next to the grate section. Okay, makes it real simple. I know it sounds kind of strange and bizarre and picky, but it saves you from doing a lot of extra work, trust me. As you can see, this is a pretty long build to begin with. So if you can take some time out, the more of the time out you can take, the better it's going to be for you. Okay, so same thing, we just put that over there. And you can see there, it's offset, and it's offset over to the grid side. Okay, another design boo-boo that I made. Okay, I just realized that if I just glue this on top of here, the top is always just going to keep sliding down. So I need to put a collar on there. So what's really nice is when I cut these bigger pieces, I had this very, very small piece that goes around there. So what's cool is, I'm sorry, the very small piece that goes around there, right? Just like that, that comes off. So I can put that on there as a flange, and that will cause the top from sliding down. I'll just glue that in place and then glue this on top of the other one. And then I'll have a nice way to stop everything coming down. Okay, little glue, little glue. I just realized that. I wanted to correct my mistake. Remember, we're doing engineering while we're doing this whole thing, so it makes it a little bit different. It's not like you're putting together a kit. This is scratch building, so sometimes things don't work out the way you thought they were going to work out. All right, so we just kind of put that in there. Get that. Yeah, sorry, didn't know I still attached there. Get that up to set right in there. And now I got a nice little flanged pocket for everything to sit on. Okay. Doesn't take much, just got to remember some of the things that you need to do. And every once in a while, you don't get exactly the way, you have to figure out how to do some more things, especially like I said, since it's a kit, the kit's already all figured out. You're figuring this out as you go along. All right, one last little detail that we're going to do, which will strengthen and also make this look a little bit better. We're going to go back to our putty. Hopefully it's not going to squirt all out again. Because we've got kind of a delicate connection here, we're actually only on 4 little points. Just put in a little putty. Let's straighten you up again. Keep sliding down. Just going to put a little putty in there to give it a little bit of a beveled edge, and at the same time, it's going to give us a little bit of a strengthened connection. Just a little putty in there. Again, that's one of the reasons why I like the Vallejo. It actually has a little bit more control because it's kind of a squeeze bottle. So you can almost put it on like you're doing caulking. Okay, so that's that one. And then we'll just do the other ones. This flange is just giving me a little bit of problem. What's nice is paint it all up. Nobody will know what all happened up there. Okay, that's that one. We got to do this one. Again, it gives it a little bit more strength too. Gives it a finished look as well. Okay, there's that. And then we do the same here on this one, which is our longest one. And again, when I figure out the exact height and where the pipe's going to come in, we'll cut this to the correct length. Okay, so let's let all of that dry, and we'll come back once it's dried. I'll show you how we put the alignment pins in, or how I've put the alignment pins in, and then we'll make this all work together. Okay, so what I've done, because I was thinking about this, I put in the aligning pins, and I'll show you how the aligning pins work when we get out to fit this all up. But basically, this is a 1/8 inch tube that we cut so that it protrudes through these. Now, the nice thing about the 1/8 inch tube is it fits in about the size of this 3/8 type thing. And when we glue it down, we glue the end of it so that it's attached to this bottom section, so you can flatten these out when you cut them. You attach it to the bottom section and you put a little glue in on the sides because these sit in there really tight. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and let all of the glue dry nice and thoroughly, as well as some of the other parts here so that they're dried and ready to go. And then we're gonna take it out on the setup and put it all together and see if it all works, and then we can finish these off. Okay. All right, so here we are at the layout. So we've already seen this placed in. We know how that goes. It just sticks right on into there. So that's the first one that we wanted to put on. Our next one that we want to put on is the close one over here. Okay, so that's on these two. Let's back this out a little bit so you guys can see. So you can see I've got the pins in there already. So we just line these up and they pop right in. Okay, now we got the two of them in there, which is really nice. Okay, so now we've got a couple more things to do, right? So the first thing that we're going to do, because we've already glued this in, I'm going to show you. So this, let me see if I can get it into view here. This is our transition piece. So remember, this little flange goes up top so the thing won't fall down. So we just come in here simply, turn this into the right direction, pop that in the hole. The next piece we have to get on here is the long piece that goes across between the two of them. So let's back out. Okay, so now we've got the long piece with this piece already glued onto the bottom. You can see here, we've got this hole that sits that way, this hole that sits this way. This just comes across that side, and then that goes on that side. You adjust the tanks a little bit, and it's on. Then the last piece is the piece that we don't know how long it's going to be yet, has got its glued section on. We just take that up there, and it pops up like that.
All right, so we've got most of it all put together. In the next installments, we'll start putting in some more of the details, get some more of the work done, and show you an overall of how it's going. Sorry if it was out of the camera a couple of times. I thought when I was shooting it that it was actually there. It's kind of hard for me to go back and shoot it again because it's already all together. So if there's any questions or anything like that, let me know. Post a comment or something like that, and I will, if you guys have been noticing, I've been trying to answer you guys back as soon as possible. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, make comments, bring a friend. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I think there's a couple more that are still coming. So thanks for joining me, and happy model railroading.